Night is when your body should be resting, when your mind drifts into sleep and your organs slow down to recover for the next day. But what if I told you that while you sleep, your blood sugar could be quietly climbing, unseen and unnoticed, silently straining your body? You didn't eat sugar, you went to bed early, and yet your glucose might be rising in the middle of the night, and most people never catch it until it starts showing in morning tests or long-term health problems. This isn't random. It's not just bad luck. There are hidden processes in your body working while you sleep, releasing glucose into your bloodstream, triggered by hormones that follow a rhythm of their own. This hidden rise can slowly damage blood vessels, affect your heart, and quietly set the stage for type 2 diabetes long before you notice any obvious symptoms. By the end of this video, you will understand the exact reasons why your blood sugar spikes at night, what your body is doing without your awareness, and why this matters more than you might think. You will learn how hormones like cortisol and growth hormone, which peak during early morning hours, can instruct your liver to release stored sugar, creating a surge that insulin may struggle to control if there is any resistance. You will also learn about less known effects, like the body's own protective rebound when sugar drops too low at night, sending it back up in a sudden spike. There are hidden lifestyle factors that most people overlook as well, from the timing of meals to the types of food you eat in the evening, stress levels before bed, and even sleep quality itself, all of which can make these spikes worse without you realizing it. Understanding this can change the way you look at your health, because what happens in these quiet hours while you rest can influence your energy, mood, and long-term wellness more than any single breakfast, lunch, or snack. Watching this video all the way to the end will give you a clear picture of how nighttime glucose behaves, the silent risks it carries, and the early signs that indicate your body is struggling while you sleep. You will also discover why the morning reading on a glucose meter may not tell the full story, and how a deeper understanding of these hidden patterns can help you make better choices. Every detail you learn here will give you the power to spot these hidden spikes, to notice subtle signs like morning fatigue, headaches, or night sweating, and to understand why these seemingly small issues can snowball into bigger health challenges over time. By the end, you will know exactly what your body is doing in the hours of darkness, why it sometimes works against your own expectations, and how you can begin to take small but effective steps to support it. This is not just about numbers or tests, it's about your heart, your liver, and your pancreas quietly managing a delicate balance that affects your life every single day. Welcome to our channel, where we explore the hidden truths behind your health and show you how to work with your body, not against it. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the insights that can help you take control of your blood sugar, protect your health, and finally understand what really happens while you sleep. Stay with us, because the discoveries we're about to share will change the way you think about nighttime, your meals, and your overall well-being. Even when your eyes are closed and the world is quiet, your body is far from resting, while sleep might feel like a pause, every organ is quietly at work performing essential tasks that keep you alive and healthy. One of the most overlooked processes occurs in your liver and pancreas, quietly regulating sugar levels in your bloodstream without you noticing. At night, hormones don't take a break. Cortisol, growth hormone, and adrenaline subtly rise and fall in rhythms designed to prepare you for the next day. The liver releases stored glucose to maintain energy for vital organs like the brain and heart. This process is normal, but when it becomes exaggerated, it can create spikes in blood sugar levels while you sleep, long before the first cup of coffee or breakfast. For many people, these nighttime spikes go completely unnoticed because there are rarely obvious symptoms until morning. Fatigue, irritability, and slightly elevated fasting glucose readings may seem normal, yet they are signs that the body's sugar management is struggling in the background. These hidden spikes are more common than most realize, especially among people with prediabetes or insulin resistance. Many assume that high blood sugar must come from overeating or consuming sugar at night, but the reality is often hormonal. It's a complex system where the liver, pancreas, and adrenal glands communicate constantly, releasing and storing glucose based on circadian rhythms, stress, and other signals. Even without any food intake, the body can trigger glucose release because it is programmed to maintain a baseline energy level for critical functions during sleep and the early hours of the morning. One of the most well-documented reasons for these early morning rises in blood sugar is called the dawn phenomenon. Between roughly 3 and 8 in the morning, the body prepares to wake. During this window, hormones such as cortisol, growth hormone, and adrenaline increase naturally. Their role is to provide energy, boost alertness, and signal the liver to release stored glucose into the bloodstream. For people with normal insulin function, this release is balanced and blood sugar remains steady. Insulin is able to respond to the surge and keep glucose levels within a healthy range. However, in individuals with insulin resistance or early signs of diabetes, the body's response is not sufficient, and blood sugar rises more than intended. This is not an error in the body, it is an overcorrection. The liver does exactly what it is supposed to do, releasing glucose to energize the body for morning activity, but insulin resistance means that sugar cannot enter cells efficiently, leaving higher levels circulating in the blood. Many people experience this without any clear warning, only noticing a high fasting blood sugar when they test in the morning. It can feel puzzling and unfair because no sugary snack or dessert was consumed the night before. The dawn phenomenon is essentially a natural hormonal process that is exaggerated when insulin cannot keep up, creating a silent challenge for your body to manage blood sugar during hours of rest. In addition to the dawn phenomenon, another less commonly known factor can contribute to nighttime blood sugar spikes called the Somogy effect or the rebound effect. This occurs when blood sugar drops too low during sleep, often due to insulin or certain diabetes medications. The body perceives this drop as a danger signal and reacts by releasing stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which in turn stimulate the liver to release glucose into the bloodstream. This rebound can overshoot, causing higher than normal glucose levels in the early morning. While not as common as the dawn phenomenon, it is an important factor to consider for people who use insulin or other glucose-lowering medications at night. The Somogy effect highlights how the body constantly seeks balance, and when it senses a threat to energy supply, it will overcompensate to protect vital organs, even if this creates a spike in sugar levels. Understanding that these hormonal processes exist is critical because it shifts the focus from blaming food alone to seeing the complex system at work behind the scenes. Nighttime habits and lifestyle choices can amplify these natural processes, turning otherwise mild sugar fluctuations into more significant spikes. Heavy meals late in the evening, especially those high in carbohydrates, can leave excess glucose in the bloodstream that peaks during the night. Late night snacking, often sugary or starchy foods, adds to the glucose load and interacts with hormonal releases, making spikes higher and more prolonged. Poor sleep quality, even in small amounts, increases insulin resistance, meaning the body struggles to move glucose into cells efficiently. Stress before bed, whether from work, family concerns, or mental stimulation, can raise cortisol levels, which promotes glucose release from the liver. Even moderate alcohol consumption in the evening affects blood sugar control because the liver prioritizes metabolizing alcohol over regulating glucose, leading to instability. All these factors, combined with natural hormonal rhythms, contribute to nighttime spikes that are often unnoticed until they start affecting overall health. Over time, repeated nighttime rises can contribute to fatigue, impaired metabolism, weight gain, and increased risk of chronic conditions such as type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, and cardiovascular issues. The interplay between diet, sleep, stress, and hormonal cycles creates a perfect storm for sugar imbalances during hours of rest. It is important to recognize that the body does not act randomly during the night. Hormones follow a pattern set by circadian rhythms, anticipating the need for energy at specific times. Cortisol rises in the early hours to prepare the body to wake. Growth hormone pulses to repair tissue and stimulate metabolism, and adrenaline responds to stress or low blood sugar events. The liver is constantly monitoring signals, ready to release glucose when needed. When insulin function is impaired, these otherwise normal hormonal activities can result in unintended spikes in blood sugar. This explains why fasting glucose can be elevated even in people who follow a healthy diet, exercise regularly, and avoid late night eating. The key factor is not only food intake but also the body's internal management of energy reserves and hormonal responses. Understanding this hidden night problem is essential for anyone looking to control blood sugar effectively because it reveals that interventions must address both lifestyle and hormonal balance, not just diet. In addition, small everyday habits play a surprisingly big role in exacerbating nighttime sugar spikes. Going to bed hungry can trigger a stress response that raises cortisol and causes the liver to release more glucose. Staying up late and having irregular sleep schedules can confuse the circadian rhythm, leading to higher hormone fluctuations and impaired insulin sensitivity. Even environmental factors like exposure to bright light from phones or TVs before bed can subtly influence hormone release and sleep quality, indirectly affecting blood sugar control. Regular stress throughout the day accumulates and amplifies hormonal activity at night, which can further increase glucose levels while you sleep. Alcohol, even in moderate amounts, slows glucose regulation because the liver prioritizes processing alcohol over maintaining glucose balance. Each of these factors interacts with the body's natural rhythm, creating a situation where blood sugar rises at night despite conscious efforts to eat healthily and maintain normal daily activity. The hidden night problem is not just a medical curiosity, it is an everyday challenge influenced by diet, sleep, stress, and lifestyle choices that must be understood to prevent long-term complications. The body's response to nighttime challenges can vary widely from person to person. Some may experience minor fluctuations that never show up in daily life, while others may have significant spikes that gradually contribute to insulin resistance, inflammation, and organ stress. Understanding the dawn phenomenon and the Somoji effect helps explain why these differences occur. In people with normal insulin function, hormonal releases are balanced and glucose is managed effectively. In those with impaired insulin sensitivity, even small hormonal pulses at night can produce higher blood sugar levels than expected. Lifestyle choices like late night meals, stress, and poor sleep magnify these effects, creating a cumulative problem over weeks and months. Recognizing that blood sugar is influenced by internal rhythms as well as external behaviors is crucial for creating strategies to support metabolic health. Even subtle indicators can signal that nighttime spikes are happening. Morning fatigue, difficulty waking up, slight headaches, or night sweats may be signs that blood sugar fluctuated during the night. Some people may notice cravings for carbohydrates or sugar in the morning, which is a response to elevated glucose or hormonal imbalance during sleep. Tracking patterns through fasting glucose tests or continuous glucose monitoring can reveal hidden trends, providing insight into how hormones and lifestyle interact to affect sugar levels. The key is understanding that what happens while you sleep matters just as much as what you eat during the day. The liver, pancreas, and adrenal glands are constantly working to balance energy supply, and when this system is disrupted by insulin resistance or lifestyle habits, blood sugar spikes become inevitable. By looking closely at the hidden night problem, it becomes clear that blood sugar management is not simply about avoiding sugar before bed. It requires attention to hormonal rhythms, sleep quality, stress management, and meal timing. When these factors are aligned, the body can maintain stable glucose levels through the night, allowing you to wake up refreshed with fasting sugar in a healthy range. Misalignment, on the other hand, creates repeated spikes that go unnoticed but have serious long-term consequences. Understanding the interplay between the dawn phenomenon, the Samoji effect, and lifestyle triggers is the first step in regaining control over nighttime glucose behavior. The danger of nighttime blood sugar spikes is often invisible, silent, and cumulative, which makes it one of the most underestimated risks to long-term health. While many people focus on what they eat during the day, the hours of sleep are when the body is quietly processing energy, balancing hormones, and regulating glucose in a delicate rhythm that is easily disrupted. Repeated elevations of blood sugar at night place continuous stress on blood vessels, which over time can lead to stiffness, reduced elasticity, and increased risk of atherosclerosis, a condition that is a precursor to heart disease. The walls of arteries, veins, and even the smallest capillaries can be damaged by repeated exposure to high glucose levels, and this damage often starts silently, with no immediate warning. High blood sugar also triggers low-grade inflammation throughout the body, affecting organs like the liver, kidneys, and pancreas, while also influencing hormone function in subtle ways. Nighttime spikes can significantly contribute to insulin resistance, making it harder for the body to handle glucose efficiently during the day, creating a vicious cycle that quietly accelerates the development of type 2 diabetes. The liver, which releases glucose into the bloodstream to keep organs energized during the night, may overcompensate when insulin function is impaired, leading to higher than normal fasting glucose levels in the morning. This means that when you check your blood sugar after waking, the high reading may not be caused by breakfast or a late-night snack, but by hormonal activity and metabolic processes that occurred while you were asleep. Over months and years, these repeated spikes can increase the likelihood of fatty liver, a condition in which excess sugar is converted into fat that accumulates in liver cells, disrupting function and further worsening metabolic health. They also elevate the risk of heart disease because constant high glucose levels damage the endothelium, the lining of blood vessels, which is critical for circulation and cardiovascular integrity. What happens at night is not minor. It shapes the entire trajectory of your metabolic future. Every spike that occurs while the body is supposed to be resting adds a small but significant burden to organs, tissues, and hormone systems. The process is subtle and often goes unnoticed until it manifests as chronic illness, but it is one of the most important windows of time to consider for anyone interested in maintaining long-term health. Recognizing whether these nighttime spikes are happening is the first step to addressing them. Some of the most common indicators are surprisingly simple, yet often overlooked. Elevated fasting glucose readings in the morning are one of the clearest signs, but they are only part of the story because the number you see on a meter represents the result of a complex series of events that unfolded hours earlier. Morning headaches, sometimes mild and fleeting, can also indicate that blood sugar fluctuated while you slept, as the brain is highly sensitive to glucose levels. Night sweating in certain cases is another subtle signal, particularly if it occurs without obvious environmental triggers, because the body sometimes reacts to hypoglycemia or hormonal shifts with a stress response that includes perspiration. Poor sleep quality, tossing and turning, waking frequently, or feeling unrested despite adequate sleep can also suggest that metabolic processes were disrupted during the night. These symptoms are often dismissed as unrelated, but when viewed together with glucose readings, they can paint a clear picture of nighttime spikes. Continuous glucose monitors have revolutionized the ability to see these patterns, revealing fluctuations that traditional finger prick tests might miss. With continuous monitoring, one can observe the natural rhythm of blood sugar, how it rises and falls through the night, and how lifestyle factors like late-night meals, stress, or even slight sleep disturbances affect these patterns. By paying attention to these indicators, individuals can gain insight into what is happening in the hidden hours of the night and begin to take small steps to influence these processes in a positive direction. Even small lifestyle adjustments can make a noticeable difference, which is why understanding nighttime glucose behavior is so important. While this video does not go into detailed solutions yet, it is worth highlighting some key areas that can be addressed to improve control over nighttime spikes. Adjusting dinner timing, such as eating slightly earlier or moderating carbohydrate intake, can reduce the glucose load during sleep. Improving sleep rhythm by maintaining consistent bedtimes and wake times helps the body regulate hormones more effectively and can prevent exaggerated sugar releases from the liver. Managing stress, both mentally and physically, reduces cortisol levels that would otherwise trigger glucose production at night. Incorporating light movement in the evening, like a short walk or gentle stretching, can improve insulin sensitivity and help the body process energy more efficiently before bed. These strategies are simple, practical, and accessible, yet their impact on nighttime blood sugar can be profound, setting the stage for better long-term metabolic health. In the next video, we will explore these solutions in depth, showing exactly how to stop nighttime spikes naturally, stabilize morning glucose levels, and support the body's natural rhythm instead of working against it. Until then, awareness of the silent risks, understanding the signs, and appreciating how much the body does while you sleep will provide a foundation for meaningful change and better health outcomes over time. Your body works tirelessly every night, quietly balancing hormones, managing glucose, and keeping you alive and energized for the day ahead. While you sleep, it faces challenges you may never notice, and the small spikes in blood sugar that happen silently can shape your health more than any single meal. The question is simple but powerful. Are you working with your body to support these natural processes, or are you unknowingly working against it? By understanding what happens while you rest, you gain the chance to take control, make smarter choices, and protect your long-term health. If this video helped you uncover the hidden truths about nighttime blood sugar, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more insights into your body's natural rhythms, and share it with someone who wakes up with high sugar or struggles to manage their glucose. Every small action counts, and by spreading awareness, you can help others protect their health while you strengthen your own. Stay tuned, stay informed, and start working with your body, not against it.